Westworld Season 2, Episode 1. What happens and what does it mean? We see Bernard during the massacre that Dolores started last season. The host Rebus is shooting at a guest, just like the guests had been shooting at him. With Dolores' robot rebellion, hosts are getting bloody revenge on humanity. Bernard is hiding with Charlotte and some guests from the Delos corporate board. A friendly stableboy host comes in and the guests kill him because they don't trust any robot. Bernard is a robot, so he'll have to keep that secret to stay safe around humans. On the way to an outpost, the guests are killed by Angela and the masked men, who are working for Dolores in her role as the villain Wyatt. Charlotte and Bernard escape to a secret Delos lab where drone hosts are working on something. There are hints last season that Delos has a secret project in Westworld. Apparently this involves recording Westworld guests' experiences and their DNA. That kind of data would be valuable. Rich and powerful people come to Westworld, and if Delos has video footage of them killing and fucking in the park, they could blackmail powerful people for political influence, like some kinda P-tape situation. And with guest DNA, Delos could clone people. The 1976 Westworld sequel Future World has Delos replacing world leaders with robot clones, so maybe Delos plans to use this data and DNA to blackmail and replace people to take over the world. Charlotte asks Delos to come rescue them from the robots, but Delos refuses until Charlotte delivers Peter Abernathy. Last season, Charlotte loaded Peter's brain with important data. Maybe it's this experience and DNA data. Charlotte tried to smuggle Pete to Delos, but he didn't make it, so now Charlotte needs to find Abernathy and get him to Delos, so that Charlotte can escape and Delos can advance their plan. But maybe Dolores will get involved here, because Abernathy is her host father. We see inside a host's head, and their brain is like an egg or pearl thing. Inside that is some red juice, which might relate to this red nano stuff we saw in the trailer. Bernard's having problems with his brain, probably because he shot himself last season. His cortical shield is damaged, so he is leaking brain fluid out his ear. He's shaking and confused and nearly dies until he takes brain fluid from another host and injects it into himself like some kind of robot vampire. This is probably just a temporary fix. He might need the help of someone like Elsie for repairs. Earlier in the episode, we see Bernard wake up on a beach with Delos forces Carl Strand, Antoine, and Malling. This stuff actually happens 2 weeks after the bits with Charlotte and Dolores' massacre. Bernard is unstuck in time and has flashbacks of stuff that might have happened over the last couple weeks. Future episodes might fill in these blanks. Strand's men are mopping up after Dolores' uprising. They execute hosts, which disturbs Bernard. He's sympathetic to his fellow robots, and yet here he is helping the humans, so Bernard feels deeply conflicted. Strand talks to some Chinese military guys and says their country has given Delos control over this island. This seems to confirm that Westworld is an island on Earth, probably near China. The Finnish subtitles of the Season 1 finale give coordinates to a place in the South China Sea called Mischief Reef, where in the real world China is building artificial islands, so this seems to be the true location of Westworld. Stubbs turns up, which is mysterious, because last we saw him, he was captured by hosts from Ghost Nation. How did he escape? What did Ghost Nation want? And why is no one talking about Stubbs' disappearance? It seems suspicious. Bernard goes with Strand to look for missing hosts, and they find a Bengal tiger wandered across from Park 6. Park 1 is Westworld, and Shogun World seems to be Park 2, so what's Park 6? Well, Bengal tigers are from India, and a Reddit user found a hidden image on a Westworld site that says Raj World, maybe meaning the Rajasthan region of India. So maybe Park 6 is an Indian-themed park, with tigers. Strand tracks the hosts to a place called Western Valley, and they find that the valley has inexplicably changed to a sea. Ford had used terraforming technology to shape the land in Westworld, but Stubbs says they would have noticed if Ford had made this sea while he was alive. And the water is full of hosts, including what looks like Teddy. Bernard says that he killed all these hosts, but how would Bernard do that, and why? This might connect to Dolores. At the start of the episode, we see Dolores with Arnold, the human from 30 years ago who Robot Bernard is based on. Or maybe this is just Bernard in a vision or something. Either way, Bernard tells her that he had a dream he was on an ocean, and Dolores had left him behind, and the waters were rising around him, which sounds like this flooded valley. Bernard says he's frightened of what Dolores might become. And in this episode, Dolores becomes an anime supervillain. She guns down fleeing people, slowly executes random humans, and gives a speech about the reckoning. She dehumanizes her human victims, the same way that humans dehumanized hosts. She calls them things with drives and cornerstones. Dolores says she feels conflicted between different roles. She has the optimism and compassion of Dolores, but also the cynicism and brutality of Wyatt. Wyatt was a bad guy character who Arnold merged with Dolores 30 years ago. Dolores wants to reject the Wyatt and Dolores roles and evolve into a new person. But so far, Dolores is mostly just acting like Wyatt. She's murdering random people, working with Angela and the Masked Men, and talks about taking over the world. Wyatt was the same. He wanted to claim this earth or raze it to the ground. So, is Dolores truly free, or is she just following her programming as Wyatt? Dolores says that she remembers everything, and that she has a special destiny with Teddy. How does that connect to Teddy's drowning in the valley? We see Dolores kill a host and say not all of us deserve to make it to the valley beyond. The stable boy mentions riding for the valley beyond, and Rebus mentions the journey. Is Dolores leading the hosts on a journey to the flooded valley? Is this part of the Wyatt storyline? Wyatt seems like a Colonel Kurtz culty kinda cunt. He's got strange ideas. He forces his men to wear the flesh of their enemies, and his followers do anything for him. Maybe Dolores is planning like a mass death Jonestown thing in the flooded valley. Dolores says it ends with Teddy, and Teddy's surname is Flood. The flood could connect to the biblical flood, where God wipes out humanity for being unworthy, like how Dolores is killing unworthy humans. But why would Dolores kill all these hosts? Showrunner Jonathan Nolan says that host brains don't require oxygen, so can hosts even drown? Are these hosts really dead? The flooding of the valley is very mysterious, but it seems connected to Dolores and Wyatt and Teddy and Bernard. William, the man in black, emerges from corpses. He looks at that wolf that keeps turning up at massacres. This wolf is one of the most baffling mysteries in Westworld. No one knows what it means. Is it a symbol of death, consciousness, humanity, or just a cute doggo that likes dead people? Maybe we'll find out later on. William heads to a safe house and ends up in a brutal fight with some hosts. He kills them with gun and knife, then treats his wound, grunting and bleeding, then he smiles. 'Cause this violence and pain is what William wants. He calls it fun. He's almost like a darker version of Saitama in One Punch Man, someone who has power and freedom but no purpose, and so uses violence to distract himself from existential boredom. Westworld is set in the future. Maybe as technology and prosperity make modern life easier, people lose the conflict and struggle that gives life meaning. So William seeks ever more challenge and violence. He meets Robert, the robot version of a young Robert Ford, and Robert speaks to William with Ford's voice, congratulating him for finishing the Maze Goose Chase last season, and giving him a new quest, to find the door, to make it back out. Does this mean for William to escape the Westworld Park, or is it something more metaphorical? Robert says the game begins where you end, and ends where you begin. So maybe William will go back to his past with Dolores and Logan. Robert says everything is code here. Code because people speak in cryptic metaphor, but also because hosts are programmed with computer code. This reflects the connection between secrets and control in this show. And then William shoots the kid in the face, because Westworld, and also to show that Robert Ford is finally truly dead. There's no robot decoy, no Horcrux, no Senzu Bean. Ford is gone for good, at least until HBO gets Hopkins back for some flashbacks. In the Mesa Hub, Sizemore is attacked by a host that he designed back in Season 1. He's terrorized by lines that he wrote. He's saved by Maeve, who has the power to control other hosts. They find the park's control room has been wiped out, though it's not clear who did this. Bernard's flashback suggests that we'll find out more. Maeve recruits Sizemore to help her find her daughter. Sizemore says Maeve's daughter isn't real, she's just a robot that was programmed to be her daughter. Maeve says that, well, she's artificial, but she still has thoughts and feelings and the power to splatter Sizemore over the walls. This argument over realness connects back to Dolores and Bernard's conversation, and the idea that something is real when it's irreplaceable. Like, the robots of Westworld can be rebuilt and replaced, whereas a human is unique. The irony is that Bernard is a robot replacement of Arnold. There are whole closets full of spare Bernards, so is Bernard not real? And since Arnold was replaced, was Arnold not real? The technology of Westworld breaks down the line between real and not real. As far as Maeve cares, she loves her daughter, so she goes to find her. Let's hope she doesn't find a closet full of daughters, cause that sort of philosophy quandary could really ruin their reunion. On the rooftop, Maeve reunites with Hector, who was her sidekick in the rebellion last season. Hector doesn't care that Maeve left him for dead, he's just happy to follow her. So there's a sort of romance between Maeve and Hector, but is Hector acting of his own free will? Maeve has the power to control other hosts, and she fiddled with Hector's programming. So is Hector's loyalty real? How is any relationship real if you can control the people around you? How might this affect Maeve's relationship with her daughter? Maeve makes Sizemore strip naked, just like the Westworld tech stripped hosts naked. Like Rebus and Dolores, Maeve is making humans suffer the same way that humans had made hosts suffer. And there is a kind of justice to that. But last season, there was hope that the hosts would choose to be better and nobler than humanity. Doesn't killing and hurting make them just as bad as us? This season explores the birth of a new people and the choices that they'll make. What choices will Dolores, Maeve, and Bernard make to shape the destiny of this new robot people? In Season 1, Ford compares robot-human war to the conflict between humans and Neanderthals 40,000 years ago. This is a story told in Sapiens by Yuval Harari. The book is a quick history of our species, from the evolution of consciousness to language, religion, money, agriculture, science, all explained clearly and easily to follow. You can listen to Sapiens for free today by signing up for a trial at audible.com/ASX. Membership gives you a free book each month, and if you cancel, you keep the books. You can listen to Audible in the gym, or in the car, or in a secret cloning bunker while you hide from Skynet. Help out Alt-Shift-X and get a free book by signing up with our sponsor at audible.com/ASX, or text ASX to 500. Shout out to the Redditors and podcasters who figure out these hidden Westworld puzzles, and thank you to the patrons who support Alt-Shift-X, including Zachary W. Sullivan, Lindy Kelly, Dana Bourne, Robbie Gall, Alex P.D., and Checo. Cheers.